Hey everyone, Brian here at Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist, the show where we talk about what we did today in our little restoration shop here on all these beautiful Volkswagens. Well, not all of them, the ones we worked on anyway. So why don't we start with this fluorescent yellow Beetle that we lovingly call the tennis ball. And I think you don't need much imagination to tell why we call it that. So we kind of took a little bit of a break from this car to work on the bay window there. And we're kind of at a point with that one where we wanted to wait a little bit because I need to talk to the owner about a couple things if he wants, disc brakes and a few little things like that. So I need to probably order some parts for that one. But in the meantime, I decided to go ahead and get back on this one. So Rafa worked on this one today and did a few things. We had some other stuff kind of going on around here today, so he only worked a few hours on it. But he did add the side molding, which we sent out and had powder coated in semi-gloss black. So it made a big difference there. And then also put on the original vents here on the C-pillars, which we restored. We tried to buy a set of, or we didn't try to buy them. We did buy a set of reproduction ones, and they were pretty much garbage. They didn't fit, and they were like, I don't know, like a quarter of an inch too long in this direction somehow. Like we would have had to trim them a lot and so on. So pretty much just went and repaired and restored the original ones, which of course fit great because you can't beat original parts. So yeah, that's what we ended up doing with those. But anyway, yeah, so those went on, the trim went on. One of the few areas of this car that had any rust or anything on it was this headlight bucket right here, the left headlight bucket. The little bracket here, which the headlight assembly kind of screws into. It's got a couple holes that attach to some different things on the headlight assembly. Anyway, that thing was all rotted out. And so got a donor fender, I think it was a 67 fender. Anyway, pretty much any Beetle with upright headlights, so starting in 67 and up, have that same little bracket in there. So we got a donor fender from Brian Washburn over at Washburn's Metal, and we drilled out that little bracket, sandblasted it, and then today Rafa went ahead and welded it in, and then we mixed up some touch-up paint, and he went ahead and painted it, even though literally no one will ever see it. But it was raw metal anyway. It needed to have some paint on it because otherwise it would just rust. Anyway, so might as well paint it the color of the rest of the car. So that went on today. That was kind of a decent little project anyway, getting that in. And let's see, what else? So while he had paint mixed up, he kind of went around the whole car and just found other little areas. So a common area on these cars where the paint sort of chips is on these tabs right here that hold down the engine compartment sound mat. Usually when you bend those things down, the paint kind of cracks near where you bend them. So I went ahead and touched all those up, and I think he got some other little spots on the car here and there where the paint needed a little love. Nothing major. So he did those things, and trying to think what else he did. I feel like there might have been some other little things, but those are kind of the main things that he did today on it. Again, he had some other things going on today here, so did not spend like a full day on this one, but managed to get a few things done. Anyway, so I got back to this one, the beautiful, of course, pearl white 66 Beetle, kind of taking a little bit of a break for it, and I've been focusing on that beauty there, the sea blue 64. So decided to go back to giving this one some love today. And if you follow the channel, you may have picked up on the fact that this has its rear window and quarter windows installed. So got those installed today. That was kind of a big deal, getting some windows in, starting to look look like a car. So now actually all the windows are in except the windshield, which I may just go ahead and put in tomorrow. But yeah, so that's kind of a big milestone, I guess, getting windows in. Again, just the windshield to go. But yeah, they all went in pretty reasonably easily. I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty awkward sounding. They went in pretty reasonably easily. Okay, how about that? Anyway, and let's see what else I did on here. The tie rods that were on here and the steering damper were all pretty garbagey. The tile here, I can show you these. I did save them because I wanted to show these to the owner. But yeah, here's one of the tie rod ends. Like the boot was all tore on it. And then this one is the one where I think I might have mentioned it before. I tried to adjust it to do like a little alignment on this car. And this joint right here was completely frozen. Even with a torch and everything, I was not able to get it loose, this joint right here. So I couldn't even adjust this tie rod, and it had torn boots. And then the other tie rod, the short one, the left one, the boots were tore on it. And pretty much we never replace one tie rod without replacing them both. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. It's not like they're that expensive, because this one wasn't that great looking anyway, and again, it did have a tore boot on it. And then likewise, the steering damper, I can't imagine would have done any actual damping at all. You can see how easy that is. So that was pretty much useless. So anyway, went ahead and swapped those out today. And then while I was doing that, I grabbed the speedometer cable here, which didn't have there's no cap on it yet, so you can easily turn the end of it to kind of simulate the car rolling down the road. And I noticed that it actually wouldn't turn. So first thing I did was, up on this end, I disconnected the cable from the speedometer to see if it was a cable issue or a speedometer issue. And as soon as I disconnected the cable from the speedometer and then grabbed this end, boom, I was able to turn it really quite easily. So unfortunately, this speedometer seemed to be having some issues, and you can see it's not in the car right now. So let's walk over here. So I don't think anything had been done to the speedometer as far as restoring it or anything. Now, of course, it is, and pretty happy with how it came out. But yeah, this speedometer was pretty gross on the inside and the outside, and it was stuck. It wouldn't, you know, do the speedometer thing. The needle wouldn't move, and the gels were all burnt like they get, you know, over decades and decades of exposure to sun and so on. So I really had no choice but to pull this thing apart and see what was going on. So once I got it apart, I noticed that it seemed like if you plug something into the speedometer cable inlet, like say a screwdriver that kind of fits in there, you could turn it, but it was really hard. And so basically what I did was I got in there and I cleaned out the grease, which I think was the original grease on here. And I've seen this before with windshield wiper mechanisms too. The grease that VW used on these, which kind of looked, again, to me, kind of like the same stuff that they use on the windshield wiper gears inside the motor. It gets very stiff and hard over the years, and to the point where it's not really grease anymore, as it is like, I don't know, like not clay, but anyway, you guys can understand what I'm saying. The grease gets very stiff, not like a rock, but stiff enough that it kind of binds things up. And so pretty much I went and cleaned out the back side of the drive here, and then cleaned the other gears. So there's another few gears. There's like a worm gear and a couple other gears in there. Clean those all out. And so a good trick to clean those gears out, if they have that very thick, dark brown grease in them, is to basically spray WD-40 on them And then, you know, you can put something in here like, say, a drill that's a good fit and rotate it, rotate it, rotate it. And the WD-40 actually will kind of like dissolve or soften up old grease pretty well. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I did, was kept running it with the drill and kind of squirting WD-40 in here. Primarily, I think this gear here, between here and the next gear over, was what was kind of binding the thing up, or not binding it, but making it so stiff it wouldn't really work. And then I cleaned all the other gears and got them all working, and then lubricated them up and put in new jellies. There we go. Because again, the old ones were all crappy. And yeah, unlike the speedometer that I just restored for that car, the 64, this one was not anywhere nearly cosmetically as nice. So I went ahead and cleaned it up and shot a quick coat of high quality silver paint on it. And the black bezel in here, the one kind of by my thumb, was also looking pretty bad. So I cleaned it up and painted it. The glass was really gross inside and out. So cleaned it up and kind of, what do you call it? Steel wool this bezel and stuff here. So yeah, cleaned up pretty good. It's going to look much better now. And more importantly, it's actually going to work, because definitely was not working before. So kind of didn't really expect to have to do that, but anyway, you never know what you're going to find on these cars. The other thing is that I'm probably going to have to pull out the windshield wiper assembly tomorrow, because I do have to put in this piece, which is the center defroster vent, and it kind of goes up in there behind the windshield wiper assembly. So this should really go in first before the windshield wiper assembly. I'm not sure why Brian didn't go ahead and put this in and stuff, but regardless, it's not like it's a big deal to pull this out. So yeah, this is going to come out tomorrow, and then this will go in and connect to its respective hoses. And then there's these Y-shaped pieces that go on each side that take the heater air from the heater channels, comes down here, goes up into this, and then from there it splits off to the corners of the windows on each side, and then over to that thing, I don't know, I call it like a log manifold, maybe is a better word for it, that does the center vent right there. So yeah, that'll probably go in all that stuff tomorrow, and then I'll put the windshield wiper assembly back in, speedometer can go back in, and then I think probably the next big thing for this is to actually go ahead and install the gas tank. I think I'm done underneath here now that I replaced the tie rods and stuff, so probably kind of continue to work on this one tomorrow. Once this defroster stuff goes in here, then we'll probably go ahead and install the last window, which is, of course, the windshield. And yeah, really come along pretty fast with this car. Time to go ahead and install the interior pretty soon here, too. So as far as the other guys, Rene continued to work on metal and body work on the crusty 68 Carmen Ghia. And Santiago is working on upholstering the seats for that guy, the Sea Blue 64. So I'll show you guys some updates on those things here in the next day or so. So with that, guys, that is it for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for your comments and so on. Appreciate it all. And we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.